Okay,
No.
guys.
We're recording.
Yeah. Woo! Oh, that's one. Hey, podcast. What is it? 6?
It's number 5.
Number 5. Yes. Hi, everybody. Good to see you again. Thanks for watching.
Look at this. We got extra people here.
We do. We have our special guest that we promised you last episode, Jeremy Evans.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. This is a sweet setup you have.
Great.
I'm impressed.
Well, thank you.
In Burbank, Production City, right here.
Considering you're a cameraman, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Hats off to you, Brian.
Yeah, well, it's, I have no critiquing. It's all great.
Oh, good.
Weirdly, we met each other, although we've re-met each other, right?
Here at Lost Mandy. Mm-hmm.
Here at Lost Mandy. We met each other years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I think.
You were working with Dan Rather.
Yeah.
And his big interview.
Yeah,
thing,
I think they
right?
called it the big interview. Yeah.
And I was doing something else, but
I think it was Jane Lynch. It was like in Hollywood or West Hollywood somewhere.
Jane Lynch in Hollywood.
I remember the stairs and the big open room we had.
Yes, and she seemed kind of awkward meeting the crew.
And of course, she was wearing a tracksuit.
Of course she was. And Dan was in
I think it was light blue. Yeah.
I love her.
She's great.
She's
yeah.
great.
She's awesome.
Yeah, but you walked in and yeah, that was cool. I do remember now.
Yes, and Tanya Kennelly.
Hi,
Here.
everybody. Here.
Very nice.
Yes.
And I am here as well.
Ryan
of course.
Valente,
Yes.
the Gemini guru man, as I call him.
Lots of buttons.
Don't know about that, but yes.
That's my nickname for you.
Really
So,
good.
yes.
You mean, in other words, you make other people talk to me.
Yes.
Got it.
It's my goal.
Oh, look, it still says you on there.
Did you watch
Whoa.
Let's do that. Try that.
it? I love it.
Do I get a Chiron too?
You got it already.
Oh, what
Oh, what does this
disappeared.
say?
Huh?
What does Jeremy say?
I guess we're going to find out at the
Oh,
podcast,
wow.
right?
Nice.
I'm nervous.
It's okay. It was a good one. We'll see.
I love it. I love it.
Guy you found
So-
in the alleyway picking up a mount. Yeah.
Yeah, so, we're going to kind of keep our segment going the way that we have been doing it. People seem to like it. So we're going to Jeremy's going to be involved now. So we're going to do our tea time with Tanya.
Well, that's not our tea time with Tanya. That's your
Oh,
tea time with Tanya.
my tea time with
That's
Tanya.
your deal,
As
I
long
heard.
as it's about me, that's all that matters, right?
That is true.
Okay, I'll be in the alleyway then.
Go ahead.
And then we are going to continue with the Observatory talk with Brian.
Yep.
And you're going to update us on what's going on, because I know that there's probably a little bit going on. And
Sure,
then we're
why
going to
not?
walk in, and then what we're going to do is we are going to kind of tell you, I'm going to tell you how I met Jeremy and why I asked him to be on the podcast, and let him give you his journey through where he's at today with,
It's like this is your life, Jeremy.
yes.
Is my mom gonna pop out? And my fifth grade elementary school teacher?
You never
Sure,
know.
why not?
You never know what surprises we have.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. Yeah.
All right, so we are going to do now. We have a part of tea time. Let's see if we can do this. I don't know if this is going to work, but
We've got something fun.
okay, here we go. Let's try it. Ready for this?
Okay.
Is it? Oh,
They call it tea time with Tanya.
oh! Hang on, I blew it.
Let's try this one more time.
Okay, hang on, I blew it.
That's okay.
I blew it.
That's okay.
I don't know why. Oh, you know what?
It's worth the seconds that he's doing this, okay?
Yeah, so
it's
let's
definitely
try.
worth
Okay,
it.
Here we go.
It's
okay,
just
here we
funny.
go. Here we go. Let me see if I can. Oh wait, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is gonna work.
And they call it
There we
tea
go.
time with Tanya.
There we go.
The finest
This is a true.
This is so funny. I swear I love it.
You have your own segment.
I know.
And a jingle.
I
And a
know.
You know
jingle.
what you have to do in this town to get a jingle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was $55 for a jingle.
Whoa, they made it a lot cheaper now.
Right.
That's awesome.
And to get Scott to give me that 55, that's what my tea time with Tanya is going to be about today. We're talking about my jingle. Okay, this is how
The
I
tea
got
time
it.
with Tanya. So, tell us. By the way, tell us what is tea time with Tanya, because Jeremy and I didn't know exactly what you were referring to when you were saying this.
So if you look up what tea is in the new, the new generation, tea means gossip, drama, whatever the talk is, spill the beans kind of thing. It's tea now.
Like
so,
instead of coffee talk or whatever.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yep. Tea time with Tanya is about what's going on with the gossip, lifestyle, health, beauty, blah, blah, blah. All the above.
I like it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Great.
So, today, thank you for making that little thing. The jingle part of it.
So we were gonna get on Fiverr, right? And we were gonna spend whatever, like Fiverr is amazing for this kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So Jeremy, you and I know from the business, like if you're gonna get a professional sounding jingle all mixed and stuff, it's like bazillions of dollars and all that kind of stuff.
But even now, can't you like pay a celebrity to do your voicemail greeting now? It's funny how it's all changed.
It is like $50 on Facebook. I keep getting those.
And like the more popular the person, it's like it can be up to thousands of dollars. But yeah, some people are like $50 or whatever.
Someone that hasn't worked in a while, like, will do your voicemail greeting.
Yeah, I think that for whatever reason, when they do the research on me, like the profiling, I only get the $25 guys, or gals.
Hey, it all spends the same.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, but so we were going to do a Fiverr.com for $50, or I think it was the high end was $80.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then what happened?
I swear to God, trying to get that $50 out of Scott. It was it was like literally a nightmare. Like Brian is like, are we just going to do it? I'm like, I'll just pay for it. Like, don't worry about it. Right. Like literally we were doing this like for weeks. We were doing it for a couple weeks.
You mean we were talking
about doing the Scott. Yeah. Trying to get him warmed up to the idea. Right.
There wasn't a petty cash box you could just take it out of around here?
His wallet, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go into
He was always so busy back there just machining. You could have just yoinked.
I know. You're not going to do it again, right?
Right. So one day I was like, I really want to get this jingle. And he was like, he literally got obsessed with making me his jingle, with making a jingle for me.
Well, not spending the money, number one.
Right.
And number two, doing his own version of a jingle.
Yes. So that is actually Scott Lost Mandy singing for me.
That's his voice?
That's him. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shall we listen to it again?
Yeah. Let's do it one more time because it's awesome.
And they call it Tea Time with Tanya.
I love it.
It's horrible. It's so horrible. It's actually pretty good.
She has all the latest tea. Any astronomer would care to know.
I thought it was very thoughtful.
Second
I mean,
verse?
I think that's better than anything that's $50 right there. Scott Lost Mandy, the legend, singing a Tea Time with Tanya song.
And you
jingle.
kept it in-house. So that's even better.
It's just utterly horrifying. I mean, but it's so, I don't want to say bad. I want to say it's so personal. It's a very personal kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But God bless. So if anyone wants to know what Scott sounds like singing,
that's it.
And he, by the way, put in, I think that he practiced it a few times.
Oh, yeah, he did. He put some time into that. That was like an all-day thing.
Do you hear him humming the jingles back there when he's like machining and
he
testing the mounts and the jibs
He used
and
to
stuff?
hum all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't hear him humming that
He has
often
skills.
anymore.
He has a lot of skills.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my tea time for this episode. And now let's go into the observatory talk with Brian.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a thing for that, but
We need to make you one.
Okay.
I'd like to.
Okay.
So what's going on?
Eventually, but no, nothing's happening. So,
well, first, Jeremy, did you know he has an observatory down in Chile?
No, I've heard talk about observatory. What part of it is it in the Atacama Desert?
It is. So it's at a place called Obstech, which does remote hosting, and we've had this telescope. We had a 17-inch down there for a while.
Oh wow!
And then it turned out it didn't really do all the things we wanted it to do, and so we swapped it out for a 20-inch, which is actually, I'll just show you the picture here. It just arrived.
Oh.
Wow.
And so this is what's going to happen. Let me see. Can I zoom in a little
So
bit?
is this where we're at so far?
I'm excited already.
A crate in the truck.
Yes, that's probably
What's
kind
in?
of.
Yeah, what could be in there?
What's in there.
That is that's big.
Wow,
Yes, that is big.
Woohoo.
Where is this in reference to La Silla Observatory? That's where I saw the 2019 eclipse.
So I think that is south.
Because I know there's a couple awesome observatories down there that.
Oh, there's all kinds. I mean, it's
one of my goals to see them all in the whole globe, all the observatories. But
yeah. So when
there's
we
some
go
cameras
back,
there.
so our plan was to go down for the installation. COVID came into play, so we actually do everything remotely. But our plan is as soon as it kind of clears up, in America, I think we're doing better.
Yeah.
But down there, maybe not so much.
yeah, that's why I didn't do the last eclipse. Yeah. one in Patagonia.
Right.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still crying about that one.
I understand.
Have you traveled for eclipses?
Yeah.
You have? Okay.
But anyway, your observatory though, when's it going to be done?
Well, it's been operational.
Pandemic pending, I mean.
Yeah, but it's been operational for about a year, a little over a year, and now. So then we did the 80 millimeter refractor. We put that in place while we were waiting. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, can I do this?
The pressure. Oh, nice.
So this is the Snake Nebula, the last one we took. It's LDN 66. This is with the 80 millimeter stellar view and the ASI 6200, which is the same chip as the Sony A7R4.
Oh yeah.
One shot.
Yeah.
But it's got insane resolution.
Yeah. Is that an astromod camera or?
This is it's a cooled one shot color.
Okay,
type
yeah.
of thing. I think it takes forever to load. Isn't even going to load. I don't know.
Very nice.
Go, yeah.
Nice.
But it's got tons of detail. There is actually, I just found this out recently.
Oh, those darks are amazing.
Yeah, and this is I think maybe 1 or 2 nights worth of data. What am I looking for? I'm looking for, of course I'm not going to find it. I think it's right here. There's our friend, it's like NGC 6369. It's a little planetary nebula. It's a beautiful one. If you look at the Hubble Space Telescope version of it, it's astonishing. But I mean, the fact that you can see some of the details in here. Can I get even closer?
That's pretty impressive.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, plus the dark skies down there help a lot. Yeah.
It's astonishing,
Oh,
absolutely.
I love the skies down there. Incredible.
Yeah, it's astonishing.
Oh, that's exciting. I want to go. Can we go?
Yeah, I know. I want to go too.
I will happily come along and help you when you go down there.
You know, that's not the first time I've gotten.
I'm sure tons of people offer.
He could do the documentary film on it.
I can carry
He
things.
can film it and carry stuff.
I started out as a PA getting coffee. I'm very good at getting coffee.
There you go.
And
Again, that's the same pitch I get from a lot of people. Like, I can carry things.
Yeah, but
I guess it's a
then I can
popular-
also, I'm a Swiss Army knife. I can do anything. So.
There you go.
I love it. Okay.
That is so exciting. I've been wanting to go back down there. I love that part for astronomy. That part of Chile is amazing.
Right. Now, speaking of eclipses, so a couple nights ago was the eclipse.
Yeah.
Right?
The lunar, yeah, it's so funny. Can I vent about that for a second? Why does the media always call them like super blood mega Sunday Thrasher monster truck eclipses now? It's so strange. Like the eclipses have been happening for millennia.
Right. But
and now they're super flower mega moons. And I've been photographing lunar eclipses for over 20 years, and the media never used to do this. So, but yeah, I tried to. I was out watching, attempting to anyway.
You know why? Yeah. Because it's popular. Because it generates eyeballs.
Astronomy's popular now. Yeah, I was a nerd in high school being the astronomy guy. Now it's cool. So.
It's totally cool. No, this past year has been. I mean, even Forbes wrote about it that it's just been blowing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why the media's catching it a lot now.
It's so funny though. It's just so funny. It's like
right?
It's like, did I not get the memo that the moon's like closer to Earth now and it's going to hit us soon because every year it's closer.
Right.
And
okay,
last time I checked, it was still.
But
the same
you did make a valiant effort to photograph the eclipse.
Yes.
We actually have that picture.
Oh, we do.
It's
Yay.
pretty sad though. It's a pathetic attempt.
I know,
that was the 10 seconds. The clouds made it a little peekaboo.
Oh yes, it was cloudy. I woke up for it too, but it was cloudy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to head out to the desert. This is only the second eclipse in 20 years I've done from home. And the last time I did from my backyard 20-something years ago was good, but this one was bad. And I almost threw the stuff in the car and headed out to Death Valley to meet some friends. And I just didn't feel like it.
Right. But
plus I had to be ready. I had to be ready for that.
Right. But this is you.
Yeah.
This is your setup here.
Yeah, that's my new Lost Mandy mount. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Wow. And there's that little peekaboo moon right there.
Right.
And my dog Laika. Lola's in the back somewhere in the garage, I think. But,
we're going to talk about some of that, right? Some of the
sure.
We love dogs.
I love talking about dogs. I didn't bring any dog hair this time, but last time I had, and I liked.
I got plenty.
I know I liked your dog hair references in your videos. Yeah.
Oh yes, I got dog hair everywhere.
It just manages to get into anything. Like I've traveled with things my dog's never been near. I'm in another country. I open up my socks and there's a dog hair in a pair of socks that my dogs have never been near. It just manages to find its way anywhere. Isn't it crazy?
Okay, so enough of all that. We are going to talk about you, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Spotlight.
Fade to black.
Spotlight. On Jeremy.
Fade to black. Yeah. Oh, you got a cat walking around here.
Yes, that's Scruffy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But you, so Tanya, maybe you can start us off because it was sort of like, this random guy came in, or I'm not sure what the story was, but I liked it.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Okay. So Jeremy, Jeremy, you know me. I speak of everybody in third person, so forgive
I'm right
me.
here.
I know. So
I'm kidding.
so something here.
Tea time is over, just so you know.
Okay, so Jeremy bought his mount through one of our dealers, but he lived locally, and so he called me, and he was like, "Hey, when am I expected to get my mount?"
I called him a lot.
Yes, he was very patient though, so
3 months.
We appreciate that. And so I did contact the dealer, and they said it was okay for him to come by and do curbside pickup. Okay, which it turned out to be a great thing because when he shows up, he had this great Mars Ingenuity T-shirt on from is that from right. JPL?
Well, no, I bought that for the launch and landing last year. Yeah, but I wore it to JPL that time. Yeah.
Okay, it's a great T-shirt. And so then we started talking, and he just his story is really great. I'm going to let him tell you the story because he tells it a lot better because that's why I got so interested in you. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
It must have been a really slow day at Lost Mandy, I guess.
No, but I love.
You don't do a lot of curbside pickup.
No, we actually do. It's been crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, and but he just has a great story and his passion for astronomy and all that. So I asked him if he would be on the podcast, and he said, "Yeah, that sounds great." So here he is, Jeremy Evans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to keep it brief. Well, like every kid, you want to be an astronaut, but I'm 5'11", and I was born deaf in my right ear, and I wear glasses, and I'm horrible at math. And so I realized at a very young age that's not going to happen because I knew how competitive it was. But I've also had an obsession with photography and documentaries my whole life. So I loved watching Discovery Channel, and back when they did science and stuff like that, and Nat Geo and all the astronomy magazines and books, and was always obsessed with the night sky. And so I decided to go to film school, and because I didn't think I could make a lot of living as a photographer, and this was even before digital was kind of mainstream, and I knew how competitive photography was. So I decided to go into cinematography and hoping to work on documentaries. And when I chose, I narrowed it down. I went to University of Utah for a little while.
Okay.
And then I decided I picked 2 film schools: Chapman University here in SoCal, and then Full Sail in Winter Park, Central, Orlando, Florida.
Florida. Okay.
And I looked at the map. And I'm like, that school's like 45 minutes from Kennedy Space Center. And then cost of living's less in Florida.
Right.
So it was a no-brainer to go to the East Coast, or I don't know if you call Florida the East Coast, but go to Florida and go to film school there. And when I wasn't in class, I was out at Kennedy Space Center all the time. And I harassed, I went out as a tourist at first, and I found out who's the public affairs officer. And I'll never forget her name. Her name was Patty Beck. And
hi, Patty Beck.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing now, Patty, but thank you. She said to me, she's like, well, I normally don't do this, but you were so adamant, and I loved how passionate you are as a student and interested in what we're doing out here. And this is when they were building the space station and still launching all the modules. And and some of the, I saw you showed some of those space shuttle photographs on when you introduced me last week, or when you mentioned on my website.
True. Those are his photographs, right?
And so she's like, well, I'm going to give you a press pass. So I need your social. They had to run a background check, security check, make sure I wasn't, going to cause any problems. So I got full security clearance. I had a drive on at Kennedy Space Center, and I got to park right, in the parking lot with everybody. I'm right next to the countdown clock. I got to go out for rollouts and launches and landings, and I think I did like 9 or 10 launches, three or 4 landings, all the assembly, get to walk along the crawler going a quarter mile an hour when the shuttle's going out to pad 39A and 39B. And it was just so much fun. And I was just a kid with a couple old Canon film cameras hanging out with her now in my camera museum. And just taking pictures of the astronauts training and evacing and then launch and landings. And they would let you they would let the media put cameras basically in the launch pads are in a swamp. Mm-hmm. So, and there's alligators and armadillos everywhere, and you're out there in the muck with the mosquitoes, and you're trenching around in the water, and you stake your camera in the mud.
And literally, when he's talking alligators, my family is from down there.
Yeah, they have everything there.
Alligators everywhere.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah. We have coyotes here in California, so watch out for your cats. Alligators in
Florida. We don't blink at the coyotes, and they don't blink at the alligators.
Right.
But so you're out in the swamp with the alligators and the armadillos and every other thing that bites, and or that you don't know what it is. And
I'm sorry, did you say armadillos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you always in Florida. There's always armadillos on the side of the road, like walking, and they get hit. So you see their little shells.
Flippin' had no idea.
It's really
about
sad.
That. I thought it was box turtles or something. Or snapping
no, they're
turtles.
armadillos, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's been a while. But so you stake your camera in the mud, and all the fancy press photographers that had money had these fancy sound triggers. So I go to Radio Shack and buy like a microphone and all these little relays and parts, and I build this little project box with a microphone. You pretty much tape to the tripod. You point it at the shuttle. You set the sensitivity, and then you hope there's no thunderstorm that's going to go off and set your camera off the night before. And if you don't have any thunderstorms or rain, filling up your lens with water because you protect it. But all the pros had fancy housings. I had a styrofoam cup over my lens and a doggy poop bag covering the camera. Right. And
that's creative, right there.
More times than not, a thunderstorm would set that sensor off, and you shoot 36 rolls of film the day before, and you just have nothing. And if you didn't have thunder, then when those main engines started at T-minus 6 seconds, that was loud enough to set off the camera, and 36 exposures as the shuttle leaves your frame. And then this exhaust comes on and ruins your lens. So I just bought cheap lenses on eBay because they were throwaway lenses to get the launches. And that's how I got all those space shuttle pictures as a poor little film student. So
that's awesome.
It was fun, yeah. And that was my astronaut. That was when I first started living my life as an astronaut vicariously.
There you go. I love it.
So, yeah,
that's a great story. That's what really interests me. He's just so passionate about astronomy and stuff. So
it was fun being out there watching the station being built, and then back then you had to track it with binoculars or a telescope. It was only a few modules before the big solar panels were put on, and it was really hard to see. I mean, now it's brighter than Venus sometimes, depending on the angle of the sun. So it was fun. It was fun watching the station being built and watching the modules go in the cargo bay and everything.
Nice.
It was great. Yeah.
Well, then he went, and then you graduated.
Yeah.
With a cinematography degree.
A degree in film and television production.
Okay, there we go. And then
I went back to Salt Lake for about 6 months and tried my luck there.
Perfect.
And then I said, screw it, I'm moving to LA. So.
All right, this is the place to be.
Yeah, I held out as long as I could.
I know.
Yeah, this was during the 2002 Olympic Games, and I was hoping to get some work with the 02 Games in Salt Lake, and I just ended up saying, screw it, go to LA. So.
Yeah, nice. Well, LA likes you, so with that,
I hope so.
So
it's been good to me. I can't complain.
And this is your profession now. You're a professional cinematographer.
Yeah, camera operating and lighting and cinematography pays the bills, and then the astronomy and the prints and photos are like the little. Everyone has a side hustle.
Yeah,
as they say.
And he. That's how he learned about Lost Mandy products. I don't know if everybody out there knows, but we have another division that makes film camera support equipment for the film industry.
Film and television,
Right, yeah. And that is how he learned about Lost Mandy products,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah. I rented a portajib.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you liked it?
I rented a portajib multiple times. Yeah, I mean, it's portable, it's great, it fits in my car perfectly, and I loved it. Yeah,
solid.
I forget what size I had. It might have been a 7 or 8 foot one. I forget. The
okay,
size,
yeah, we have the standard portajib, and we have the little traveler portajib.
Yeah, it might have been the traveler. Well,
okay.
I did one. Yeah, I traveled with one where I remember I had to put it on a plane, and I've rented them a few times just through one of the local rental houses around the corner here. So.
And so that's how he kind of found out about Lost Mandy products. And then when he kind of wanted to step up his game in getting into astrophotography and really getting a really solid mount as an investment, last mount ever, he looked at Lost Mandy astronomical products for his mount, and you got one.
I should have done it 3 or 4 years ago to save me a lot of headaches, because I went with a lot of mass-produced mounts, and I didn't like the tolerances. I didn't like when you're adjusting your altitude and getting everything dialed in and trying to do your polar alignment, all the knobs are plasticky, and there's all this play, and you tighten it down, and then it still wobbles, and then your alignment's off again, and just I was disappointed. I went through 4 different mounts from other companies, and they were all great, but I spent probably triple the amount buying and selling them and losing the money I've had. I just gone with the Lost Mandy at first.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that old yet. I'm in my early 40s now, but I'm an old film guy, and I like things that are well built. I use old Leica lenses, old Hasselblad and Zeiss lenses, and I like things that are well machined. And, and I noticed that right away when I opened it up. It's well built.
That's what I hear mainly.
It's not that cast aluminum or cast metal. Everything's machined and engraved, and the hardware is, because in the film industry, all the hardware is like upscale. It's all, and I noticed that the Hollywood side of your business here, you've implemented like the cables. You have regular DIN cables versus cheap little cables, and so I've noticed a lot of the quality that's carried over into the astronomical side from the Hollywood side, which is the quality I appreciate.
So let me ask, and I know this is maybe a little bit different than the order in which you maybe want to talk about it, which is okay if you want to skip it, but talking about sort of quality of products, things that you appreciate and enjoy. So on the still side, I know that you have a special relationship with Hasselblad
Yeah,
would you mind?
Not a personal one, but yeah.
But I mean,
obsession,
it means something to you,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind telling that story.
Oh,
because I know that we have some pictures and things, but I would love to see that and hear about that.
Oh, sure.
Can you say this word one? Because I didn't really understand what it was. I'm not really a big astronomy buff like the two of you are. So what is this Say it one more time.
Either Hasselblad or Hasselblad.
Okay.
It's a Swedish camera.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
Victor Hasselblad created the camera.
Got it. Okay.
And they're still used today. Like all the Annie Leibovitz and all the famous photographers like to use them. And I see tourists walking around with Hasselblads like with a $20,000 camera on their shoulder. It's really hilarious. But
oh my gosh.
No, they make wonderful cameras.
Okay.
Medium format cameras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not large format, but medium format. Yeah.
I've been schooled.
Yeah.
Well, but back in the day, I mean, that was if you were a professional, you owned a Hasselblad. I mean, that was it.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. Yeah.
Are they not made anymore?
Well, no, they still make them.
They
still
okay.
make digital ones, and,
okay.
and they're still around. Yeah, but the vintage ones are, since all the hipsters now have film photography is all popular again. So now people are getting back into it. So all my film stuff that was worthless now is now worth money again, which is fine. So,
right.
Oh, do you have something that's worth something?
Oh, I just have I have tons of old film stuff. I mean, you guys have a picture of my nerd camera museum. I have a couple photos in there.
Is it? Okay, I'll have to look this up.
Yeah, but I collect old film cameras, and most of them work. I have cameras all the way back from the early teens and 20s all the way to the 70s and 80s, and they all work. And I put film in them, and I use them. And,
so we got.
nice.
Yeah, like these are my Canon cameras I had lugging around at Kennedy Space Center, taking pictures of the shuttle. And then that's an old Leica from 1939 that took this famous. I have this obsession with cameras and the photographs. They took like history making photos, and the famous sailor kissing the nurse in Times Square when the war ended. That was
they actually have like that down in San Diego at the harbor?
Yeah, the statue.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, the Navy Pier, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's neat.
Oh, that's so
cool.
cool.
I mean, I have an obsession with old film cameras. So
nice.
And that hence my Hasselblad obsession, but. Then I learned. I mean, you want to take it from there on the Hasselblad part, or want me to continue?
I would love. No. I would love for you to tell a story because I know there's a little special.
I don't want to hog all the airtime here. So.
No. This is.
This is Jeremy's show.
So,
no.
It is. This is your life.
The one and only. Yeah. It's like he lives 20 minutes away. Don't invite him back.
No. We'll be begging.
So then I started, growing up being obsessed with the Apollo missions, and even the old. Gemini and Mercury missions, Hasselblads were like the cameras that were chosen for space.
Okay.
And so NASA talked to Victor Hasselblad, and they basically NASA basically they were going to go. They did some Nikon. They worked with some of the manufacturers, and they picked Hasselblad was the best camera to go into space for a lot of reasons. Well built, but another reason why is they're modular, which means you can. Modular meaning the film back, like a motion picture camera, the film back comes off versus an SLR or something that it's all one piece. So,
okay.
Right. And going to the moon and all the early launches, even today, weight's a big issue. So they did the math and figured, well, let's take the Hasselblads to the moon because you can leave the lenses and you can leave the bodies and just take the film back. So all the Apollo missions. There's 12 cameras on the moon. There's 12 Hasselblad cameras and lenses on the moon that the 12 astronauts that have walked left behind. Because
are they in like a secure box, or just
That's
throw it on?
I've dug around. I don't
think they're worried about someone stealing that stuff.
Well, soon. I mean, soon. Elon's going to be up there any minute taking them. But all that area is technically protected, like
okay.
Not like a national park, but it's like a national heritage site now. So technically, when we do go back to the moon, it's illegal to disturb the Apollo landing sites. But there's 12 Hasselblads up there, two from each mission.
Okay.
There were 6 landings, and they left the camera and lenses behind and just brought the film magazine back so they could exchange that weight for lunar samples and moon rocks.
Great, that is great story.
So Hasselblad made a 10-year anniversary to commemorate the cameras that were left on the moon.
Very nice.
And you can find some of the ones that were built for NASA that never flew, and they sell for like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on eBay.
Right.
And they're silver, and they have bigger buttons, so the astronauts can use them with their gloves.
Right. We actually have a picture. So we have a picture of one, right? This is
the 10th anniversary one, which I happen to. This is the show and tell now.
Yeah. Oh, fun! I love show and tell.
I happen to have brought my Hasselblad here.
So you got the POV camera there.
Oh yes.
So Hasselblad made 1,500 of these. They made 1,000 in chrome and then 500 in black. Or it could be backwards. I'm pretty sure it was 1,000 with the silver, and then 500 in black. And so this is serial number 177 of 1500.
Okay. Oh, not
right.
yeah. Okay, so very.
So you got, they're
one.
pretty much the same as the regular electric back Hasselblad, but it just has a little moon logo there. And then
wait, here, hang on. Let's see the moon logo again.
Sure,
Yep.
sure.
So there it is.
So you got the little moon logo.
Very cool.
And if you look at one of my most favorite photographs of all time is the Earthrise from Apollo 8.
Oh.
It was taken on Christmas Eve, and if you look up the video and the audio recordings, all that's public domain, so you can listen to the Apollo 8 recordings.
I'm gonna show. This is the picture.
Yeah, that's Earthrise by Bill Anders, but Jim Lovell and Bill Anders kind of fought over who took the picture for a while because they knew it was going to make magazine covers when they took it.
Right, but it was taken with that Hasselblad.
With the one built for flight, so it's silver and bigger buttons for the moon gloves.
Oh,
and if you look at the video of them on Christmas Eve in '68, they're driving around. They're not driving. They're orbiting the moon, and they're like, oh, look at that picture, and they see the Earth rising for the first time, and they were the first humans to see the dark side of the moon.
Right.
So goosebumps
right,
coming up.
Right.
And then you hear Bill Anders going, Lovell, hand me some color film, some color exterior, and they're snapping away with the Hasselblads through the window, and then he goes 1/250th at f11, and he mentions the shutter and the f-stop. So I found out what lens they used, and it was a 250 millimeter lens.
Okay.
And the similar space version of this camera. So I was a nerd, and I set the
POV cam.
I have the shutter set to
yeah.
1/250th at f11 right here.
Oh, very neat.
And it sits in my camera museum with the picture right up there. Yeah, the shutter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it sits in my camera museum with like if you want to go back to that photo, it has a little
yes.
A little recreation.
The other photo. Yes, hang on for a second.
It has a little recreation of the. Hasselblad came out with a special manual for it, like it's upside down. There we go. Like the moon anniversary manual.
So there it is.
Yeah,
right.
and then so I have it with like a replica of the plaque they left on the lunar descent module.
Right. So I'm sorry. So this is some of the stuff. So what is the stuff we're looking at here?
This is just the stuff that Hasselblad produced for the cameras.
That goes along with the camera.
Okay.
So this is what the space version looked like. It's kind of silver.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a picture of the camera.
This is called the modified. This is the ones that flew. This is the modified version.
Okay.
And Hasselblad just kind of commemorated them with the cool little.
Look at this.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. It's for an Apollo guy that I've worked with every celebrity you could name and politicians and presidents, and I don't even blink an eye at them. But if these guys, Michael Collins just died a few weeks ago, and I never met Neil. He died in 2012. But if Buzz walked in, I would be thrilled because I don't get excited when I see celebrities, but if Buzz or the other 3 remaining moonwalkers that are still alive walked in the room,
this is really neat.
But my biggest goal is since this was Apollo 8, Jim Lovell and Frank Borman and Bill Anders, who took the photograph, they're actually still alive. They're the only Apollo mission where all 3 crew members are still alive.
Right.
And I've been trying to locate them I would love to get this signed. I've never asked for an autograph in my life, but I would want. So if you're listening, or any agents of, or public affairs people or managers of Bill Anders and Frank Borman and Jim Lovell, sign my camera. I promise I won't eBay it.
Such a treat.
Anyway,
by the way, there's a restaurant in Chicago that I've been to called Lovell's, and it's actually his restaurant.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's family, but I mean, it's
in Chicago.
In Chicago, in the North Shore.
Oh, I've been there many times in North Shore area. I never knew about that.
Yes, Lovell's, and it's his because it's jammed full of space stuff.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, that's so cool.
He gives such great interviews too. Why don't you guys invite him on next?
Okay.
We did. You were the second choice.
Yeah, exactly. I knew there was a first choice. Yeah. It all comes out now. That's great. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's my
great story. I love that.
Obsession. And I use this camera all the time. I take it out on trips with me, and I still shoot film. I even took pictures of the moon with it one time, and
nice.
Yeah, it works great. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I love that story. Very, very cool.
Very cool.
All right. Any more show and tell, or did you?
No, I think that was the thing that we wanted to talk about in terms of the
quality
Hasselblad.
and the quality.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
So being that I appreciate machined and well built, German and Swedish engineering and well machined, and that's what turns you on. Yeah, that's what I appreciate about the Lost Mandy products is you just know they're built well. The minute I open that box, I'm like, okay, this is night and day difference.
Okay, nice.
And I've had a chance to use it twice now, and I'm still figuring things out. It's a learning curve.
Yes.
Sure.
And I'll be bugging you with questions later. So.
Brian does get
super awesome.
Yeah.
But no, I was in Capitol Reef last week, one of my favorite international dark sky parks, where I got obsessed with astronomy as a kid, and then the comet part. But I took it out there, and it was this maiden voyage, and had a few nice clear nights. And
is this?
That's Capitol Reef.
Nice.
Yeah, there's my Honda Element. Yeah, almost 300,000 miles. There's Jupiter rising, the Milky Way, and this is all. This isn't light pollution. This is air glow, this green stuff, and there's zero light pollution in Capitol Reef, and that's where when I was a kid I went down there, and I grew up in a pretty good dark sky area anyway. But
Utah. Did you grow up in Utah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the answer is no for all those that are asking, and yeah, it's always the second question. So
I know, right?
So I had Milky Way in my backyard growing up, but then going to Capitol Reef, it was like whoa.
Just that.
It was like high definition before high definition came out.
Right.
So I go there all the time.
That's kind of like how
it's a hell of a drive for me, but it's worth it. And I drive out to all these dark sky sites, either 5-hour drive, 12-hour drive, 2-day drive. I don't care, just anything to get away from the Los Angeles lights.
Sure.
Right. Now, where did your you bought the GM811?
Yes.
Okay, where did it see its first light? Was it in
in Capitol Reef?
Yeah. Okay,
well,
great.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Where you fell in love, you took out.
It kind of seemed proper. Yeah,
it does. It sounds like it.
I didn't have time. I put it together in my office and made sure it all worked. But I didn't use it on anything. And I did the modeling tour and did my calibrations with Antares and Vega and I think Arcturus and I think the first image I took with my OTA and that mount was actually of Arcturus.
Nice.
And then I went to Antares and just working out. Didn't go anything. I did some deep space stuff with it too, but still getting it. Familiarizing myself with it.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I know that you've alluded to kind of dark skies, and I know. Just in our conversations, it's become a very important topic for you.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we could speak a little bit about kind of your work there and talking about dark skies. And
sure.
I know we got the website and everything. So
okay.
maybe can you speak, because without dark skies there is no astronomy. There's no Earth-based astronomy.
Absolutely, and the skies are threatened every day, and it's not just for astronomy. It's also for health reasons. Light pollution affects your sleep. It affects your circadian rhythm. It affects wildlife. It affects plant growth. There's for the month of May, the city of Philadelphia, they had over 20 buildings agree to turn their lights off because millions and millions of birds each year are killed by light pollution because they get confused from the reflection and the glow of the skyscrapers at night. So it kills birds constantly. It throws.
That was actually there was an article recently that Philadelphia actually.
Oh, I did say
downtown.
Did I say Philadelphia? Did I say a different city? Because I meant to say Philadelphia if I did not.
Well, that's
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But that happened in the last couple of days. It was news that they had them turn down the lights because it was killing birds.
That's exactly what I'm referring to. They have a whole lights out thing up till May 30th.
Right. Wow.
Where not every building, but I think over 20 skyscrapers or developers agreed to dim the lights for the bird migration, because they were finding mass extinction, not extinctions, but mass suicides of birds. That, and it happened. The bird counts are going down like crazy because of light pollution and among other things.
So this is a really important.
Yeah, it's a big issue, and it's not just for people to look at the sky. It's for health reasons, and our night sky heritage. When we were all hunter gatherers, we didn't know when to plant or when to move and when to follow the wildlife if we didn't have the sky.
Right.
Reconnecting with the night sky heritage is very important, and there's the International Dark Sky Association that's been around for I think 33 years now. They've been around a very long time, and thanks to the social media, which is good and bad, the social media and has really brought this new attention to astronomy and awareness. So these guys have a lot of people have heard of them now. They're all over the news now, but they've been around for 33 years. They're great little,
this is, I think this
nonprofit organization.
Right. So this is darksky.org, right?
Yeah, darksky.org. Yes.
Okay. And you're a delegate. For them, right?
Okay. I think I'm the first delegate they had.
Nice.
So I'm a public speaker, so I go to the national parks and give talks. Sometimes they're about history in Yosemite or backpacking, because I'm also a backpacker and a guide and a first responder and stuff. So I'm always doing different kind of talks. But sometimes my talks are about astronomy, and so I do a lot of light pollution talks, and I mention these guys a lot, and I help spread their message. So that's what they call it.
I love it.
It's
I'm
like
going
a
to
dark
start
sky
spreading the
ambassador
message
kind of
too.
thing or something. So,
No, this is important. This is really important.
I brought some dark sky swag.
Well, thank you.
Like here's the easiest thing you can do to prevent light pollution is your simple lighting setup. I mean,
start at home, everybody, and then
the right color temperatures, shield your lights. I just had the house painted, so I put dark sky shielded lights on the house to help reduce light pollution. Timers, the right color temperature.
This is great.
Everywhere I go, I carry these in my car, and I always hand out I love dark sky stickers for people.
Dark sky.
Everyone loves their swag.
Yes, I actually stuck my sticker on my iPad. Yes.
So yeah, I try to. They're a really small organization, but they have a huge following. They have a lot of support, and they're really getting a lot of traction these days since astronomy's really, and then after the pandemic, everyone like picking up hobbies, and that's why you guys are so busy. That's why Scott's been machining mounts night and day forever, because everyone's getting into astronomy.
They are.
It took forever to get my telescope, my new telescope.
And the technology has really grown.
Yeah, that too.
Yes,
yeah.
I would have to say, with all the cameras, from DSLR to the cooling cameras today, people are getting into it. I think it's a little bit more easier.
You mention that because my girlfriend tells me, she's like, you didn't used to be so into space. I'm like, well, I've always been into space. I mean, you know my story, but technology's made it even easier to be into space with the nerd alerts going off on my apps on the phone, telling me when the space station's flying over, reminding me of a meteor shower, because I've been chasing meteor showers for 20 years as well. And so yeah, technology's made it easier, and it kind of helps rekindle the obsession. I never lost it, but technology's kind of made me more obsessed than I was when I was shooting film, because I got obsessed in the 90s shooting film when the famous comets of the 90s, Hale-Bopp and Hyakutake, and I think you have a picture of my comet,
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, have we not?
Can I tell you a story? Okay, what?
Sure.
What was the Hale-Bopp? What was that
Hale-Bopp?
in night? Yeah,
Hale-Bopp was the mass suicide one.
Okay, so listen to this story.
The Heaven's Gate one. Yeah.
Right.
In
Okay,
'95, I was like in high school.
So I used to work for Oceanside Photo and Telescope, which is one of our authorized dealers, OPT. Everybody knows
OPT,
it.
yeah.
OPT.
Okay, everybody knows OPT.
We know OPT.
Yes.
Bought my pole master from them. Yeah.
So the Heaven's Gate people
Not far from there.
came into OPT and bought their telescope from Mike West, who still works there. Hi, Mike, if you're listening. Bought the telescope from them, and then came back and returned the telescope and said they couldn't see what they were looking for. And I guess Craig...
Oh, they couldn't find the spaceship that was picking them up?
Right, they couldn't find it.
So there's actually part of the documentary that I think is on Is it Netflix? I don't know, but there's a segment where they talk specifically about it, because the spacecraft was supposed to be following the comet.
Right.
Uh-huh. And they actually in the documentary they said that they went back to the telescope place and said this thing is defective because we couldn't see the spaceship behind it.
Yes. Okay.
They were all going to die. Why'd they care if they got their money back?
They did. They wanted their money back, and they had to buy the purple juice.
Yeah.
So,
they needed money for the juice.
Right.
The Kool-Aid, yeah.
So I guess Craig Weatherwax, who used to own OPT and started OPT, he kept it. And so OPT, when he moved over to where it...
their new location?
Well, no, the new location's in Carlsbad, but the older location was in Oceanside.
Yeah.
He bought it. It was a bank. Okay, and so I guess he kept the telescope inside the bank vault or something. I don't know where that telescope is now.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
You're saying that it might still be there or somewhere.
I don't know.
Has he dubbed it like the Heaven's Gate telescope or something? Oh, that's really cool.
Craig kept it.
That needs to go on. I'd like to have that in my collection.
I know, right?
That's really neat.
And Craig made these really cool T-shirts. They're glow-in-the-dark Hale-Bopp T-shirts, okay, for the Comet event. And I actually have one. Wow. I should have brought it in as my share and tell.
Well, we didn't know we were going to go there.
I know, but I do have one of those.
That's
it's
so
kind of
funny.
cool. Yeah.
That was 95, I think, or 97. I forget if it was before or after Hyakutake, but
here's I want to switch to that because this is your shot.
Yeah, this is Hyakutake in 96. Yeah, December I think or January, I forget. I was just with one of my old little Canon film cameras, and I remember imaging this in my backyard, and then I remember riding my bike to Kmart to drop off the film to get it processed.
Right.
And but I can't find my Hale-Bopp negatives to save my life. I photographed Hale-Bopp in Arches National Park, and I have prints of it, but I cannot find the negatives. And I've torn apart everything I own so many times. I'm hoping they'll turn up someday, because I'm really good at keeping things. I'm not a hoarder. I'm very organized, and I'm really good at cataloging, but I cannot find those negatives anywhere. And I've scanned every negative I have, and not that one. So,
oh man! Of course,
that kind of started my astrophotography obsession. Was the comets of the '90s.
Nice.
And then all the eclipses and meteor showers, and Now trying the deep space thing. So
for the younger generation out there, a negative is what you used to
film,
get.
look it up. Yeah, look up.
You might need to look it up.
It smells really good, and I have the bottom shelf of my wine fridge is all film.
Right.
Wine.
There are a lot of kids who do film.
Yeah,
it is.
You know, it's popular now again. I don't want to say kids, but I mean younger people in their 20s and so
right,
forth.
right.
Do all kind of stuff.
Yeah, the Polaroids are back. Remember they kind of left.
Yeah. I have some Polaroid film showing up today for my girlfriend. She wants to shoot Polaroids again.
Yep.
But it's so funny because since I do wilderness guides, I do like these long 10-day backpacks in the high Sierra and a few years ago, some not kids but in their younger 20s showed up and they had film cameras around their neck with the old vintage leather strap, and I was like, oh, I have that camera, and I was showing them how to work it because all these younger kids are now buying these old film cameras and using them. But 20 years ago when I was doing astrophotography with film, I'm walking around Yosemite or Arches at night, people go, what are you doing? It's dark. And I would go, half the park's after dark. And now the National Park Service coined that phrase, but I'm not going to sue them. They don't have any money. So. Oh. And I'm a volunteer, so
wait, what was the phrase?
Half the park's after dark. Oh. And I would tell that to people all the time when they would go, why are you taking pictures? There's nothing to see. And I'm like, no, you just wait. With a camera and a tripod and some patience, even on film, you can get night images. And I was photographing Milky Way a few months ago in Death Valley with film.
Nice.
Black and white.
Yeah, and now, I mean, with digital cameras especially, of course, everybody knows this, but I mean, it's just like it's just like almost like shooting in the day. You can take a 30-second exposure.
It's ridiculous what they do now.
Yeah.
I don't go too crazy. I'm more of an organic. Like when I start my photography talks, I usually say, what you're going to see tonight is. I don't Photoshop a lot. I'm not into big composites, and people will expose for their foreground and then their background and their sky, and they layer all this together. And I don't want to spend that much time at a computer. So I always tell people my work is like non-GMO, organic, vegan
version.
That hardcore photography because a lot of people don't like it because I'm like, well, your foreground's dark. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want a composite or anything, but that's an art form. I appreciate it, but this is not my style.
I hope you appreciate it because that's what I do, and I enjoy doing that. I just
don't have the software patience. I hate.
Are you talking about that reverse lighting thing? Somebody was it you telling me about that?
Well, not the reverse light, but the idea is that so there's Jeremy's style, which is sort of very
organic, non-GMO.
Yeah, but kind of whatever
like
comes
the raw
through
image.
the camera,
yeah.
right?
I'm a film guy,
and my style is sort of like the way that I think about it is. I don't want to be limited by the technology because in theory you could have like the world's perfect camera that would expose everything correctly the way that we see our eyes, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, just the way that technology works right now, that's not the case, right?
Okay.
But it does. You have to go through kind of different techniques, as Jeremy was mentioning, right? And it's
like Ansel did tricks in the darkroom. Ansel Adams did. So digital tricks are fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have the patience for it. I respect it. I wish I knew how to do it.
Right. People forget that Ansel was known as much as a brilliant printer and his darkroom work as he was
harder than taking the
photographer.
Yeah. And people, experts, and Bill Turnage, the one that runs his trust, he's said many times, like if Ansel was alive today, he would love the digital manipulation because that's what he did. That's what he did analog and organically in the darkroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we talk? So more recently,
but can I say one more thing about digital manipulation though?
Yes.
It's great if
only if you say it's good.
It's good if you use it accurately and not misrepresent, in my opinion. Because for example, I saw a picture on Instagram of someone took a picture of Yosemite Falls in Cook's Meadow. Mm-hmm. If you're in Cook's Meadow, you're looking north. You have Polaris there. Polaris has been there for 10,000 years. They'll be there for another 60,000 years or what? And then they composite the Milky Way.
Right.
And then all these people are like, oh, I want to go to Cook's Meadow and see the Milky Way with Yosemite Falls. And that was misrepresenting what you can see. And then all these hordes of people go to Cook's Meadow and think they're going to see the Milky Way there when they're only going to see Polaris and Ursa Major and Ursa Minor and all that. And so I volunteer a lot with them, and I'm always because of the pandemic, I'm usually there for at least a few weeks every May doing talks and stuff. So I know a lot of people there, and I emailed them saying, hey, you need to mention that that's a composite because you're misrepresenting what tourists think they can do.
Right.
They're going to see the Milky Way there. So,
good point.
People put the moon in different places, and I'm like, I'll see a photo. Oh, the moon's never there. That's not on the
path. I've seen that a lot
path.
On moon rises or moon sets.
Correct.
And they're basically sort of right at the horizon, but they're north or south.
Yeah, and that stuff kind of bugged me because for someone that's been watching the sky since he was 7 or 8 years old, you notice that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I do gallery shows, and I'm in exhibits, and And I've had photographs win People's Choice next to mine, and it was all composite, and it wasn't it wasn't disclosed as that. So I kind of have as long as you say it's a composite or say it's digital manipulation, I appreciate it because it is an art form.
Right.
But I just don't have the software technique or the patience to do it.
Right. Okay.
I like that.
Anyway, I'm off my rant now.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay.
So let's talk about what you're doing more recently, because you've done a lot of work with JPL, right?
JPL, as a freelancer, I've been lucky enough to be
we're switching over to his profession.
Right.
This is him being the cameraman that he's doing.
One of many.
Right. Yes.
Trust me, I was not important. They don't know me from Adam. Yeah.
But the thing is, there's not really the impression I get. Maybe I should ask this: is your profession and your personal life are there's not a clear line between those because you get to do what you love doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up telling myself I'm never going to do a job I hate. I want to have fun every day at work, and that's what I do. And if I don't have fun, I don't say yes to the job anymore.
Right.
And there's a really, really awesome cinematographer here in Los Angeles named Sam Painter, and he's the best documentary cinematographer in the business, in my opinion. He's amazing.
Okay.
And he knows I'm a space nerd, and I've done tons of documentaries with him, and he's been lucky enough to get called to go to JPL. For Voyager stuff, for Pluto stuff, for Mars stuff.
What a treat!
So he always I was out of town. And he texts me and he's like, "We got another shoot at JPL," and I'm saying yes before he can even finish the message. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll get
Done.
on." And I was out of town. I'm like, "I'll be home in time for that shoot."
Yeah.
But if it was like we're doing it, I'm like, "Nah, I'm out of town." But
Right.
You'll
jump on that chance for sure.
I come running anytime they call. He lets me know that we got to shoot another shoot at JPL. So we were there. We were the last crew there before the pandemic hit when they were getting Perseverance ready. And there's a photo of Perseverance in the clean room there.
So let's just take a look at a couple of the pictures you got here, right?
Yeah,
so we've got, let's see here.
I don't think I've seen any of these.
I've
been here.
This was last month. Yeah, that's the Mars Yard.
Yeah, the Mars Yard, yes.
That's always a treat.
Yeah, JPL. So I was lucky enough, Scott and I went to JPL and got the tour and everything.
Fun.
Yeah, so it was really fun. I was up in the Mars Yard, and what this is it's basically a yard that's a simulation of Mars, right? Yeah. So and then they're testing.
Yeah, they test the tires, the software, and they do firmware updates there.
Right.
And, yeah,
but that's you in there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Unfortunately, that's me. Yeah.
And then there's there's
you. One of the other mock-ups. Yeah, the same mock-up before they drove it out. Yeah.
How many mock-ups do they have on Earth?
I don't know that question. I know this mock-up looked different than the other previous mock-ups when I was there last time. This is more to simulate how Perseverance works.
And it looks
because when we were in the Mars Yard last time, they were testing the tires and they were testing. They were putting rock. They were honestly walking out in front of the rover and putting big boulders in front of it. And then you'd see the eyes move around and analyze it. And then they were teaching the ones on Mars to avoid the rocks because the tires are lightweight aluminum, the wheels, and they're getting all shredded.
Right.
Okay.
So we were there one time and then they would work on the software patch and then beam it up and then update the firmware like you do on whatever. And they're updating firmware on Mars. And so a lot of those tests they do were in the Mars Yard. But so that was one of the first times I was in the
So
Mars Yard.
is this thing, when you see it in person, is it bigger or smaller or about what you expected?
Well, this one's the biggest. They've gotten bigger. All the original rovers from 10, 20 years ago are all so much smaller. So this one's gotten bigger, and this one's nuclear. There's no solar panels on it because the previous... Oh,
that's a good point.
Yeah, remember the previous one that went to sleep because it got covered in that dust storm in 2018.
Oh, right. Then, okay.
I think it was either Spirit or Opportunity. One of them they had to retire because the panels were covered in dust. So yeah, these are all nuclear. This
is the command center.
Yeah, that's the
center
control,
of the center of the universe, as they call it.
Center of the world or universe. Yeah. I'm in there sitting in the chairs, like pretending to be,
so cool,
taking selfies,
pretending to be smart. And I rarely take selfies. I don't.
Right.
I have a face for radio. I like to be behind the camera, but I have to take selfies.
Of course, yes.
I have to take selfies at JPL because I'm a kid in a candy store there. But But the one, so we were the first crew there. We were the first crew there.
This is cool.
Or the last crew there before the pandemic.
This is the clean room, right?
This is. I didn't take this picture. My coworker / friend Sam. I couldn't get this close to it. He was able to get this close to it.
This is the actual
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so cool. This is so cool.
People are like, I would love to write my name on that and have my name on Mars, but of course you can't go near the thing. And it's the same. Here's all the patches up here where all the missions were, all the Voyager, all the Viking, all the spacecraft.
Right, so I'm going to use this.
All the patches all the mission patches are on the wall, and it's cropped out. But
so Scott gave my daughter
cool.
a bunch of the original patches from the.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And my daughter has some.
Oh, that's exciting.
Pretty cool. That were actually on the astronaut suits.
Oh, I have a bunch of them I got at Kennedy Space Center. I buy old ones on eBay, old mission patches.
Neat.
That's
okay.
so cool.
So that's what you're talking about, the patches that
they're like the large poster version of the mission patch.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So I mean that's where all the unmanned spacecraft were built for JPL in that clean room. So
wow.
So
That's
just the history in that room alone. I mean, I'm obsessed with the Voyager spacecrafts. They're still going.
Wow.
Their batteries are going to last
What a great project
another
to
4
be
or 5
on.
more years. Yeah. Oh, well, I have a whole shelf dedicated to Voyager stuff in my house. Yeah.
Nice.
It's probably a museum in your house. It's probably so much fun to walk around in there.
It's a nerd museum.
I love it. I love
My
it.
girlfriend hates she's like, put it all in the garage or in the attic. So yeah, a lot of it's in the attic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you get a chance, but we have a lot of stuff. Like behind you is an ancient telescope on the other side.
Right here.
Or other way.
The Questar one caught my eye because I love those.
We have this.
Do you want me to? I can go like this if you want me to put it on this.
That looks like it was up at Baldy or
that,
something, right?
yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's
Scott
great.
has got this great story about it, but there's some version where he went and bought this telescope and the mount. And you want to show it a little bit more there?
Oh,
That's cool. Let me get out of your way
And then
here, yeah.
no, you're fine. You're fine. But I guess he was looking. So this thing is in near mint condition, and
looks great.
I guess that the pier was
looks heavier than a Lost Mandy.
I know, but the pier
back hurts
was
looking at
so he didn't see the pier anywhere.
Wow.
And I guess it was sort of holding up like some part of a barn, or I was like underneath a wheelchair or something,
like a barnyard.
And he said,
find.
"Yeah." He's like, "Hey, can I? You mind if I have this?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I don't care."
Some people find old cars in a barn. Some people find old telescopes, I guess.
Well, Scott does at any rate.
That's awesome. Well, I had my eye on the Questar when I walked in too. Yeah, those are. Speaking of good optics, yeah, those are fun to look through.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them here. We got all of them in the back along here. So you can see all these.
No, it's great.
And by the way, we actually have a ton in the back, in the way back, that people don't normally. Well,
In the garage.
in the
Okay,
garage.
Eventually-
I'm totally fine with partying gifts. Those are great. Yeah.
There we go. I pitched that on the last podcast, like a
did
couple
you?
podcasts
I
ago.
brought you partying gifts.
Did you?
Yeah, I brought gifts for you guys.
Yeah, let's talk about that because
trade for a telescope or two. Or some Lost Mandy products. No, I'm
So,
kidding.
yeah.
but
I'm kidding.
one of the things that we talked about was because you're kind of living the dream, right? For all of us. I mean,
I have a wonderful life. I can't complain.
right. That you get to do things that don't suck and that you enjoy.
I have fun
doing.
every day. I get up every day and I'm like, what am I going to do today that's fun? I really
love
do.
it.
I try to have a really good attitude. I'm grateful I can walk. I'm grateful I can see. I'm grateful I never complain. I'm happy. I'm just a happy guy.
See why I wanted to have Jeremy on.
And I'm just it drives people crazy to talk to me because I get so passionate about stuff. People are like, this guy needs to lay off the coffee or something.
No. That's
No such thing as too much coffee. I just
No,
wanted to
sir.
point that out.
Right. Yeah. No.
But one of the things you do, so you sort of have a collection of things that you do, right? And one of the things you do, you of course take amazing photographs.
I try.
Actually, we have some examples here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But you also sell prints, right?
Yeah. Mostly I'm online a little bit. But most of my print sales are after my programs because I do talks for Dark Sky Festival in Sequoia, Kings Canyon, and Death Valley. Of course, a lot of that was put on hold due to the pandemic.
Sure.
And I do talks in parts of Utah sometimes, and different camera clubs, and then I mentioned Death Valley, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So and then I'm up in Yosemite a lot doing history talks and stuff like that. So I always offer prints and
Nice.
in person. I don't ship too much, but yeah, I do sell prints. Yeah, it's just it kind of pays for the gas on the way to the trips.
Right. Yeah.
But
I'm just a volunteer.
But the thing is, I mean, a lot of
sometimes
people,
they pay me, sometimes they don't. But either way, it's a bonus. Yeah.
right? But a lot of people take these photographs and don't really think much of like, well, I've taken a picture of the Milky Way. Like, there's a million of them.
Oh yeah.
I can't really sell any prints. But you obviously, this is not necessarily your primary income.
No,
but, you
it's a
can,
little side business. Yeah.
Right.
and they're beautiful prints too.
They are,
If you
they
wanna
are.
look at
I
these
have
again.
I have some prints in some galleries in the Eastern Sierra, but they haven't opened because of the pandemic and calendar clients and a few things like that. But yeah,
I hadn't seen those. They are really
it pays
nice.
for a lens is how I look at it.
Right. Yeah. Pays for your
pays for my Lost Mandy mount. Yeah.
your hobby. Yeah.
hobby,
That's
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, fund the hobby.
Now the one is that I see the one is that it's
that's the one. That's the one where the Milky Way was composited above it. Yeah.
No, see the waterfall. That's not really a waterfall, is it?
No, it's a. That is. It's a moonbow.
There's I don't know. There's some special day, and I think it's in February.
Oh no, that's the Firefall.
That's what I can. That's
well, the old Firefall was banned in this. That's when they threw a bunch of rocks over Glacier Point and it was on fire. And now they have the Horsetail Falls, but people call that the Firefall. That's the natural one that lights up.
The natural, yes.
Yeah, last 2 weeks of February. I used to photograph it every year, but now it's because of the news makes the mega thing about that too now. So
everybody's out there.
You have to get a permit. And
people,
I did it for 10 years in the early 2000s, and I don't do it anymore because it's just too crowded.
Okay.
Yosemite closes North Side Road, and you have to have a permit to even be in the vicinity. Right. So it was fun. Yeah, I did tons of. I did
well, at least you did it before.
Oh yeah,
before all of that, right?
It's
I know, Brian.
But no, that was Yosemite Falls. That's not the Horsetail one, to answer your question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you this.
Waterfalls.
By the way, I'm going to show you this real quick. But this is what the crowd of photographers looks like.
I'm sure.
Photographing.
I'm sure I know half those people. I'm sure Christine. I'm sure Christine's in there.
That's just. I mean,
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, one time was me and like 4 people just in the snow.
Yeah.
And back then we had snow.
Right.
And it was great when we had snow 10, 15 years ago. And I remember being out there in 5 feet of snow one time, just sticking the tripod in the snow and watching the light up the photograph or the waterfall. And now it's crazy.
So that's the actual picture.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I have some of these on my website as well. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. So. Yeah,
that's neat.
It's a big deal. Yeah, I get emails every January. Hey, have you heard of it? I'm like, yes, I've heard of it, and no, I'm not going.
Right.
Yeah, not
but
anymore.
You do. So if somebody wants to purchase a print of yours, or at least sort of browse through them, and where do they see this stuff?
I'll just go to my website. Yeah, Evans DP. It's my last name Evans and DP as director of photography. So evansdp.com or Instagram. All the links are on there. If you go to my website, there's a link to my YouTube channel. And
we'll put the link below this YouTube.
But, no one goes to websites anymore. But you guys were the first ones to go in 2021, I think. So
yes.
My counter was all rusty. I had to lube it up, and it clicked over to visitor number 1 of the year. Yeah.
Where do people go? If
I don't know. I don't know what the kids do.
YouTube.
It's all I don't know.
Podcast. No, that's why we
all YouTube's full of hate comments now because I had a since I sell a lot of my another one of my side businesses is I license a lot of stock footage. So all my time lapses and meteor shower time lapses and eclipses and all the videos. Smithsonian's purchased them for like science films, and National Geographic Discovery
I think you're mentioning that to me.
licensed some of my footage. So I watermark everything in the middle,
right,
to protect myself.
Of course.
And 2 days ago, I wake up to this comment. Like beautiful videos, this lovely Death Valley night video, beautiful video, except for the ugly watermark in the middle ruins it. And so, hold off on the mean comments because I'm protecting my work,
Yeah.
Photography's not free.
Right. And it's not like it ruins the photo.
Subtle. Yeah, I keep it subtle.
Right.
But
the point is you don't want somebody who's going to commercially take this and do something.
Yeah, because I found out from someone saying, hey, I love your videos. I downloaded them and used them in a music video. I'm like, how'd you do it? Because I used to keep the watermark down here in the bottom right corner.
Right. Oh, they cropped it.
And then he's like, all my stuff's 4K, so you can enlarge it because it's 4K. And if they're doing just regular 1920, 1080 HD, then you can just crop out my watermark. So I'm like, oh, thanks for telling me. So I slap my watermark in the middle.
Yeah.
And some videos have a thicker watermark than others. It depends on if I think it's, if I can monetize on it or not.
Right.
But I've sold a lot of them that way. So I watermark it. So hold off on the mean comments because that one I shouldn't let it get to me because there's all those haters that are going to hate online, and I don't know how they have the time to do it.
Hey, it comes. It comes.
I don't have time to yell at people online. I don't know why people even do that, but except for the watermark. So I muted him, and then I think I replied saying, well, if you've read my thing, I'm a professional and I do make money doing this, so it's to protect myself.
Right.
And then I mute the guy. So,
so anyway, you just have to brush it off.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I know.
I want to talk about dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, these two.
Dogs are fun.
Brian and Jeremy have so much in common. As I was talking with Jeremy when he was doing his curbside pickup, I was like, oh my gosh, you and Brian have the same car.
Honda Element drivers.
Also.
Best car ever made.
Same cargo carrier we found out, the Thule.
Okay.
The biggest Thule ever made. It looks like my car looks like the plane carrying the space shuttle on top. That's how big the box is on top of it.
That's so crazy. And then they both met each other in the film industry 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And they also both have therapy dogs. I mean, what are the chances of this?
So tell us about. I have 3 pictures of your dogs.
Yeah.
So who is this?
Well, this is Laika, named her after the Sputnik 2 dog that went into space, but I spelled it after the German camera because I'm camera fan as well. So it's spelled the German way, but it was after the poor dog that perished in re-entry on Sputnik 2. And that's when that's one of her first backpacks. She's now that's up in the Grand Tetons on a snowshoe trip in the winter. And that's my girl. And unfortunately
she's
now
very pretty.
That's Lola. I have lots of tripods in the house, and she's a tripod as well. She's a 3-legged dog.
Oh. Yes.
And she's been quite the project now for about when we found her. I used to work with the rescue right around the corner here.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when we found her, everyone's like, "Oh, she'll live 6 months," and that was 7.5 years ago.
Wow.
So she's been a. Let's just say she's been a.
Sounds like somebody's really taking care of her.
Yeah, she's been a project. I could have a really nice Tesla for the money we've spent on her. It seems like.
I understand that 100%.
Yeah, you get it.
Yes.
But they're both. I mean, I was just talking today. It's like their time's really near. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
They're both getting up there.
And
Right.
Brian, and Brian does therapy.
So I'll just show you a quick picture
with his dogs.
I like
quick picture. This is Redford.
Oh wow, makes my dogs look like little chihuahuas.
Yeah, this is Redford.
This is Redford, the Irish Wolfhound.
Oh, nice.
I know it says Good Boy Truman, but he's on that on that channel. He's just a
Wow.
Is that Truman?
No, these are all
Oh.
Redford.
Wow.
He's Wolfhounds are the tallest dog breed.
Yeah.
And he loves sitting in people's laps. We volunteer at the airport to do
I've
things.
done the airport stuff. Yeah, that's fun.
Kind of stuff. People love. This is Truman, actually.
Okay, so Truman,
What a face.
he had a 15 minutes of fame on The Good Place, right?
He was in the Good Place.
Yes.
Oh, I've heard of that show. Yeah.
Yeah,
With
but
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson and Kristen Bell,
yeah.
I think is her name.
I will show you. There's a little this is not super critical, but and I'm going to turn this down. But this was a thing that LAX did, but they wanted to show off the therapy dogs there. This is Henry Rollins, of course.
Yeah.
And so here's Redford, and this was the very first take that they did, and he did brilliantly. You know, dogs don't do well on multiple
Look at
takes.
Redford.
And of course, he's talking about, hey, you can meet a therapy dog.
He
all
did
that
that on
kind
the
of
first
stuff.
take.
Yeah.
See, what they say, kids and animals, your day's going to be twice as long. So.
Or
Wow.
maybe twice. The good stuff's going to be twice as short,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But
Wow, he's a one-take wonder, huh?
I know, but the thing is,
great.
later on, Henry. So we had to do multiple takes, and the little pug was getting kind of antsy, and so it would walk away, and he used to he would grab the pug by the leg and pull it across the floor towards.
Oh
He
my
didn't
God,
use
I
any of that
love
stuff.
it.
And I don't want to suggest he's a really nice guy, right? So I
Oh,
don't wanna say
Redford
that he
is
was
so sweet.
No, I was talking about Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
Oh, Henry Rollins. Oh, okay.
He's nice too.
Oh,
but Redford's
Henry
probably.
Rollins was getting the pug back.
Yeah,
into
he
the
was
set.
grabbing the pug and for the leg and pulling it across. I mean, it didn't hurt the dog or anything, but it was
He's
a little.
like is he like an MMA guy? Henry Rollins, like what?
Well, he's known
He's
for
the
a lot of stuff.
KCRW guy too, right?
Yeah,
No.
well, he did
no.
Black Flag. I mean, that's sort of what he's known for.
No, that's
is
not
his
Henry
big-
Rollins, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Henry Rollins. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And
listen
as
to
a
his show,
band,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Why are you looking at me so intense?
Like-
Brian Pineapple.
Black Flag.
Safe word or something?
Black Flag. Yeah, I mean,
It is
People,
the same word. How did you
help me
know?
out. I mean, come on, Henry Rollins, you guys, put some stuff in the comments there.
Oh, he's great,
It's
yeah.
not just me who knows him.
No, I know.
No, I know he's
listen to his
very,
show
very
on
famous,
KCRW.
yeah.
I'm a big supporter of KCRW.
Super
I love
nice
him. That's
guy.
my favorite
Yeah.
station. Well, that's cool about that. Yeah, I've done the airport thing. I've done the hospital thing with Leica, and my previous Shepherd was also a therapy dog. And,
Right, nice.
And not the fake ones you see at the restaurants on the tables, but like real certified dogs. 'Cause,
Right.
Yeah, that's another. Oh man, yeah, it's rough. How every animal now is a service dog. Like I've been walking around with Leica in restaurants, and I walk by, or back when she was younger and more agile. And you see a service dog there, and it lunges and tries to bite my dog, and my dog just ignores it and walks by. And then they make the guy with the German Shepherd sit outside. And then the little dog yapping that's a service dog is on the table inside. So yeah, not every dog is a service dog or a therapy dog, but your doctor can write you a letter now. And so
Yes.
Right, absolutely.
very strange. Yeah, very strange. But I hear the airlines are cracking down on that now, which is good.
They they stopped. They basically, I think they stopped allowing peacocks and all.
Well, they're ruining it for the real service dogs that actually go out and do service and work and help
Right.
people. And my dogs have worked with Alzheimer's patients and sick kids, and I mean, and it really, I remember driving up to an assisted living home, and everyone's out there in their wheelchairs, excited for the dogs to show up.
Aw.
So I mean,
What a great thing to do.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
That's
it's
a really
fun,
good.
Yeah.
I know that you
She's
enjoy.
retired. She's retired now. She can barely walk. So.
I called Brian the other night, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, him taking Redford to Ventura Boulevard. Everybody loves to see him and talk because he's such a social dog, right?
Well, it's hard. I don't know if you found this, Jeremy, but because with COVID, all the therapy dog stuff is locked down.
Oh yeah, everything.
And so we have to keep him socialized. We have to keep him interactive. We have to keep him familiar with people. So we, not only very recently, but we started to have him walk up and down Ventura Boulevard and just meet people, just to keep him in practice, to keep him, keep him interacting with people.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the pandemic changed everything.
Yes.
Including therapy dogs and service dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, luckily, Leica's retired. She doesn't have to do that anymore. But the kids play with her every now and then.
Right.
Next door,
Yeah.
so the neighbor kids, but.
All right.
Okay. Well,
what do you think? I think that was it's a great are we all? Are we at us?
You want to?
Are we wrapping it up?
You want to pick your parting gift before we wrap up?
Yes.
There's a parting gift.
Yay!
Yeah, because
I love gifts.
I don't know what telescope I'm taking yet. But we'll deal with that later because
we'll have to put it underneath the blanket.
Yeah, I mean, I just brought some prints.
Scott's
thank you.
Hang it up in the office.
I think he's leaving.
Donate it to Goodwill where all my other prints are. I don't.
No. Thank you. Oh my God, this is such a great thing. Yay, I'm excited.
File and pick the ones. Pick anything. They're all.
Well, hold them up. I mean,
I will.
People gotta see them.
Oh, here's is this a geyser? Okay, Castle.
I'm gonna put. Okay, so I'm gonna put you on yours. Right?
If you want some Eclipse ones, pick an Eclipse one if you want.
Very nice. Yes.
But yeah, what least I could do for let me bore you guys for however long.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? This
is
beautiful.
This is great. I love these.
This is the solar.
Sorry, I brought magnets too. Here's some magnets.
Oh, thank you.
And this is like a QVC thing all of a sudden. So.
Oh my God! Did you watch our last when we were talking about QVC?
I think that's probably why I mentioned it because I haven't heard of QVC in a while. So there's some magnet for your fridges or paperweight.
Very nice.
Anyway, feel free to pick one.
Yes.
Meteor showers or
the camera's over here, young lady.
Hi.
It's her first day.
It is my first day.
Meteor shower. What is it? The Perseid meteor shower?
Perseid, yeah. I go out. I've been doing the Perseids for almost 20 years. I plan a 10-day backpack for every Perseid. So
Orion.
Gotta love the Perseids. Best shower of the year because the weather's warm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing these and
letting
us grab one.
I don't want this to be a sales thing. I just wanted to give you guys a thank you gift. So
yeah, well, thank you. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It was it was great to have you on. Thanks for taking time out of your day to come here and do it. Yeah.
I'm 20 minutes away, so let me know when you get bored and you want to hear me again. So.
It sounds good. Sounds good.
If we can't get Jim Lovell in here, we'll hit you.
Work on Jim and Bill and Frank Borman, and I'll be here. I'll be over there lurking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
carrying the camera.
Yeah, or I'll put me to work. Yeah, I'll get the coffee. So, all right.
Excellent. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Talk to you soon. See you next time. Woo! Well, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is you were our second guest. Scott was our first making martinis.
Scott's as he should be. He only owns the place, right? So.
Yeah, but to get him on, let me tell you, it is not the easiest thing to do.
Break him away from
Yes.
Any video of you, he's in the back.
Oh yeah.